Icks, they're out there. You know, I think that I am not single, but I've heard a lot of horror stories about how hard it is to be out there in the dating pool nowadays. And I guess
it's rough.
the word, yes, yeah, like, tell me about it. It's that rough, huh?
It's rough.
I'm sorry. I am really, really sorry for you and for any hools out there that might be struggling. But listen, I used to be one of you. I can't say this.
I used to be one of you.
I can't say this. Like, because it's like, yeah, I'm in a happy relationship. Who the fuck cares? Like,
hey man, it's rare to be in a happy, healthy relationship nowadays. Cherish that. Flaunt it.
That might be why no one follows me on social media, because I am currently undesirable, because I am currently desired by somebody else.
I wouldn't say that because
I mean, like, you know, when some people, like, when they announce that they are in a relationship, they lose tons of followers.
Yeah, that happens to women.
I think it happens to men too.
It happens to women streamers mostly.
But yeah, there's a word that keeps going around a lot lately, and it's called ick, or it's a term called the ick. And personally, I don't really give a shit about it, but some people do, some people don't. But
some of them are valid.
Some of them are valid, but some of them are a little questionable.
Icks are just deal breakers with a different name.
I saw a post that was floating around on r/dating that said, "What's your unusual, unexpected turnoff or ick in a person that would have everyone giving you a hard time if you told them?" Today, I'm going to be throwing some of these icks at Brianna, and we're going to discuss them. Chatting with someone on a dating app. We hadn't met yet. He said he wanted to get together for a drinky poo. I cringed.
Yeah, I would also cringe.
Yeah, you want to get a drinky poo?
You want to get a drinky poo? Like, you can't.
All right.
You can't be talking like that to someone you just met.
No. Like,
that's a later down the line.
And even then, they might just get secondhand embarrassment from you even saying that, but they'll gently tolerate it because they've known you for a little while.
You got to establish that it's a joke. But if you just met someone and you're talking about meeting for the first time, you want to get a drinky poo?
Oh, God.
Hate that.
Another guy with whom I had a nice first date. We had dinner for the second date, and he started talking about how he hadn't trimmed his mustache since his dog died 1.5 years ago, and that's when I noticed the long whiskers getting in his mouth, and food I just couldn't ever imagine kissing him. Lot to unpack there.
See, I don't have a lot of experience dating men with facial hair. The last time I dated a man, I was 17. Well, dated very loosely. I spoke to a man, and yeah, he didn't have facial hair. So
most men seem to be incapable of growing facial hair at 17. Some would argue that a 29-year-old Asian man that's hosting a YouTube channel is currently incapable of growing facial hair. But hey, that's besides the point.
To be fair, he was like 26.
That's illegal.
Did I ever tell you about this man?
No. You may have, but you never told me his age until now.
So, what's even better about that? I didn't know he was 26 until after our little thing. Because he told me he was like 22, and I found out he was lying.
That's men for you.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, so... But even when my dad hugs me and like he'll kiss my cheek sometimes, his facial hair, I'm like, ugh, get off me. So I could see feeling weird about like putting your lips against a mustache. I don't like that.
I mean, some people like kissing men with facial hair. I think it's like, I don't know.
That's fair. It's really to each their own.
Yeah. Tickles their upper lip. And there's like, oh, that
Weird.
feels nice. I don't know. Very mediocre date, but offered to walk me to the train station at the end. Sure, what's the harm? Shared that he's an aspiring artist. Proceeded to serenade me beatbox style, terribly, as we walked down the busiest street in my city. Never wished so hard that I could be a turtle and hide from the world. Listen, I understand having a talent, and even if it's bad, even if it was good, I feel like I'd still be embarrassed.
See, I can't, this might be an unpopular opinion. I can't do someone serenading me.
I think a lot of people can't really handle it. It's
crazy how often I see it and how many people are like, damn, I wish someone would serenade me or sing to me or whatever. And I'm like, I can't imagine literally anything worse than like, besides at like a concert, but you're like in a room full of people and they're not serenading you. But like being one-on-one or like in a group and like you're the one being serenaded, I'm like, "Ugh."
When I was 14. So you know this. A lot of people might not know this. I'm a drummer, but my parents wanted me to pick up another instrument that wasn't loud banging all the time. So what did I do? The band that I was in at the time in high school, my best friend taught me how to play guitar, and I got pretty decent at guitar. And I also tried to learn how to sing. Some people might argue you can't learn how to sing, you're just born with it. Well, you know what? Maybe it's Maybelline, but I once serenaded a potential girlfriend of mine. I sang a song.
What song?
Performed it on guitar. You will never know.
What song?
And you will never know.
What song?
And
I need to know.
No one needs to know. I've already given out
Why not?
a big...
You've literally already said you serenaded someone and you won't tell what song. What's
Take a
the point?
wild guess. Take a wild guess.
Wonderwall.
No. All right. Moving on. And I have such secondhand cringe from that. I'll tell you after the show what song it was.
Fuck. Okay.
But it's...
Can I at least get the artist?
Foo Fighters.
Why didn't I fucking think? Like, why didn't I?
And I serenaded them, and yeah, they stopped talking to me about like a week later.
Yeah.
It was on their birthday. It was before everyone had arrived.
Darryl.
And it was just her and I. And
I need to go. I gotta go.
I was 14, you son of a bitch.
Oh my
I was
God.
14.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was 14.
Her birthday, and it was just both of you, and you said, now's the time.
Yeah. I mean, this probably doesn't make it any better, but we were both musical and had performed in front of each other before, so it's not like she hadn't heard me perform.
Yeah, but it's different when you're like directing it to her.
Yeah.
Ugh, I'm so sorry, King.
Anyway, thoughts on serenading people? Don't do it.
Bad.
It's not.
Don't do it.
It's really not. It's
It's not what you
if
think
you're
it's
at
gonna
a
be.
party and you become campfire guitar guy and you start serenading to anybody, it's just not gonna work.
You're just
You know,
instantly
I feel
not
like
taken seriously.
The only way that works is if there's a live band performing at the party and you happen to be in that band.
Yeah.
You know?
If it's a concert or it's a show or literally anything, golden.
Yeah.
But if you're like, if you're like looking at someone and like serenading them and you specifically say like, hey, this is for you. No.
Out
don't do that.
Out of the 4 years that Morgan and I have been together, I don't think the only time she's ever heard me play an instrument was on Twitch streams. And that's it.
That's fair.
And that's
That's
like really
fair.
all that, you know?
To be
That's really
fair,
all
like
I
you
needed to
can
do.
play an instrument for someone. That's totally fine. But once you start singing,
Yeah. Don't direct it at them.
don't.
Yeah, you know?
Just be like, hey, want to hear this? I've been practicing. It's not towards you. I don't like you.
If you're going to do something, just play.
Just
and
play.
don't direct it at anybody. Just
No.
do it.
No, just
You know?
practice.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah. This is from the perspective of a male, and he's 27. The girl was 26. When I was on a date last week with this girl, she started discussing about plans on marriage and ideas on how we'd live together, which somehow didn't bother me. She then listed everything that she wanted me to do. Take care of, which is basically everything that's needed. Chores, cooking, bills, mortgage, and lastly, to pamper her. When I asked what she'd bring to the table if I did all that, she called me a misogynistic pig. I think she took it a little too far.
Yeah. I think So that was a first date?
Doesn't say first date, but I'm assuming a date because he just said on a date last week with this girl. This
Oh,
girl
this
is
girl
probably
that
first
never.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely. So, like, I've flirted with people and, like, in a very joking way, being like, oh, we're gonna get married. Like, oh, like, you're my wife or whatever the fuck. But it's very obvious it's a joke,
Yeah.
you know? I do think if she was, like, genuinely serious about everything, which it sounds like she was, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
That's a little
And
weird.
I think it does get a little more serious. Like you can't necessarily joke about that when you're like older, because I think a lot of people are around that age
How
are
old?
kind of like
Is it okay?
27, 26,
20. Well,
or 27. Yeah.
I'm about to be 27 and I did that.
Well, did you do that a while ago or like
No,
recently?
pretty
With someone?
recently. Like, but
Oh,
like
okay.
it's a joke. Like it's very obvious, you know.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the people, the dynamic between the people, and obviously, if
Yeah.
this was a first date, they'd probably have like no dynamic. You know what I mean? They've probably just been
Yeah,
texting,
yeah, yeah.
and that's what I don't necessarily like about doing online dating. And it's you're texting the person, and it's like you're not really. I'm sure sometimes you might do like a phone call maybe just to like test the waters to like talk to them first. But a lot of times where I've been going on dates with people and it's just the only interactions we've had were through text, they never end with us being together or going on another date. Maybe we'll get to a second date, but
I
with
think it
my
depends.
experience, it's
Yeah, it depends on
yeah,
the situation because I met my ex through online.
yeah,
You know, through mutual friends, but
yeah.
they
I was
she
one of
didn't
those
live here.
mutual friends.
But she didn't live here. So
Right.
it was like mostly like through text or like video calls or calls, but then obviously she came and visited here a few
Yeah.
times. So
If
yeah,
you don't
I
mind me
think
asking, and we don't have to get too personal on this, but I was wondering if there was ever any point where having, yeah, she did come and visit, but like having text as really your only means. Well, I guess also
it
voice text. You're
sucked.
both gamers.
It
Yeah,
absolutely sucked because there were times where I wanted comfort or like wanted to be with my significant other and I couldn't, because she was fully in another country.
yeah,
But yeah, that it depends on like your I don't want to say tolerance, but I guess your willingness to commit to long distance. And we were together for 4 years, so obviously it wasn't a bad relationship by any
yeah,
means.
yeah.
It just
This isn't shit on your ex hour.
no, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still very, very good friends with my ex, and we talk still, and we like play games together still. Like we're still very cool.
some people might find that to be an ick. I was doing some research. A lot of
I
people
know, yeah.
consider still being friends with any of your exes or having any contact with them
Yeah.
whatsoever is a major turnoff, and they will not date you for that.
Yeah, I think obviously it depends on the relationship that you have with your ex, but I think it kind of shows emotional maturity a little bit to be able to still be, friendly or on good terms with your ex. Because it's like, at least for me, the people that I dated, I liked them as a person, so I enjoyed being around them. And I still do because I'm literally friends with every one of my exes. And I don't know. I think it's a good thing, a good time. Obviously, if I were to be in a relationship with someone and they were also friends with like their exes and it started becoming a little weird, or like the relationship there just seemed
Off.
yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
not just a very obviously platonic relationship, then I can understand like why some people would be wary about having their significant other friends with their exes. But yeah, I really just think it depends on the situation and like
Because I mean,
the
I
kind of
understand
relationship.
some people have trust issues, but for me,
Yeah.
at least, it does show a sign of emotional maturity. To not only, I guess, from like your perspective of still being friends with your ex and being able to maintain that level of maturity, but I guess also on the other person's end, respectfully, that any kind of jealousy that comes their way from you still being part of their, because I think it comes from a deep insecurity and also like
because it's like you
fear.
were with them before I was,
Right?
Like, so you know a different side of them.
Yeah. Or a couple people ago or whatever. And I think it would show emotional maturity on that person's end to have a mature conversation with you and not be like, oh, well, you know what? It's either me or the fucking highway. You can't talk to them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's when, in my opinion, it starts to get a little like, just talk about it like adults. And if you can't come to a conclusion or whatever, and if they're still pushing, maybe you guys shouldn't continue what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think people are scared to stand on their laurels or stand on their
business.
I think people are afraid to stand on business, and people are too people pleasy nowadays, and that's something I've been trying to work on.
Oh
a
yeah,
lot.
absolutely.
And for me personally, I guess I consider friends as people that I talk to on a weekly basis, people that I see, people that I hang out with on a regular basis. I don't necessarily consider any of my exes to be on that same level. So
and that's totally fair.
I typically, and it's like, I'm not going to sit here and disparage you because there have been times where I've like freshly broken up with someone, a few months go by, and then we might see mutual friends and we might be in the same space and we're like amicable and we're still able to be in the same room, coexist, have a conversation, talk and whatnot. But understand that part of us is over. Like I said this in a recent episode, that there's a quote that I've heard a lot lately and I really like. It's, you don't lose people, you return them. And I think that applies especially not just with friendships, but with romantic relationships as well. You both came into this as two separate people, hopefully.
Yeah.
And we can go on. I could go on a whole entire tirade of just how you should love yourself before you even think about loving another person, or have some basic self-love and self-care techniques so that if that relationship does end, it's sad and whatnot, and you can mourn that loss, but deep down that you'll be okay. Some people don't have that. And that's when a lot of people spiral and like dive and can become like, in worst case scenarios, like alcoholics or drug addicts, or even commit.
Yeah, I would say that's a problem with codependency more than like not loving yourself, or like not having like that self-worth, because like you said, I do
think that self-love and self-worth does help a lot with that.
It absolutely, like you should be somewhat secure of yourself, but I don't agree with like you need to love yourself before you can love anybody else. I don't agree with that.
I mean, you don't absolutely have to. I think it just makes it easier. I should have phrased it that way. I think it makes it easier.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. That definitely, it contributes to I think a healthier dynamic.
Right.
When you're in that headspace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, guys, this is what a healthy disagreement looks like.
Yeah, no, literally.
Yeah, exactly. But back to the misogynistic pig.
Yeah.
I think another thing about dating nowadays is that people, and I saw others talking about this on subreddits and comments as well, that, people nowadays can take red flags or use the term red flags or icks for something that's really just not a nothing burger, but it's very benign compared to a lot of real problems that people have.
Yeah. Yeah, preferences and, quote unquote red flags and icks and all that are just preferences, to be honest, with people.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily like being asked what do I bring to the table. I think that's actually another ick that comes up at some point, but for her to just react like that, for her to be like, I want you to do everything for me. And then for him to say, well, what are you going to do
for me
if I'm doing everything?
Yeah.
And then you get labeled as a misogynist. Like, dude, like I would get up and walk away at that point. Like, I'd be like, well, this ain't working. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, I do think she, was a little intense, but I guess she knows what she wants and she's at least she put it all out there immediately,
Yeah.
And instead didn't like string him along and then be like, okay, I need you to do everything for me.
Yeah, well, she's probably going to be single for a very long time, but move.
Who knows?
Yeah, she's got to find a real simp.
They're out there.
There? Yeah. I got the ick when he told me that it's stupid for women to do first dates in public. If I'm going to kill you...
That's crazy. Keep going.
It gets even crazier. If I'm going to kill you, I'll just wait till the second or third date when you get comfortable. Obviously never spoke to him again. Gentlemen.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking serial killer.
Gentlemen, under no circumstance do you ever joke about killing your date or your partner. Because God,
that happens so often.
Like in real life.
In real life.
Like, you know how many women reject men or are scared to reject men because they know how some men can act when they get rejected.
Yeah, dude. People are literally forced to give out like their personal information, like their phone number or like where they work or whatever, because they're terrified.
Yeah. I saw that scene of what's her name? Anna Kendrick. Did you see that movie that Anna Kendrick was in, or that TV show that Anna Kendrick was in? She's in like a parking garage, and some guy was like, "Oh, can I have your number?" She gives him a fake number, and he's like, "Can I call your number just to make sure that it's you?" And she's like,
"Yes." Have you heard of the dating game killer?
Is that it?
Yeah, that was him.
No, I haven't. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's about this guy. It's a real story. About,
oh wait, is it the guy that made it onto the dating to that
and
show?
And he won. And then
yes.
And then the girl was like, "Yeah, I'm getting really weird vibes from you. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's not do this."
Okay. That's what
she's
that's
the
about.
girl.
Oh
She's the
my
girl.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
God. I'm just a girl. Yeah. No. Jeez. Men can be scary.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting, and you should not judge someone that wants to meet in a public place. Have you ever heard of stranger danger?
Wait, did you say meet anywhere else but a public place?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought you said meet in a public place. I was like, would you
Well, you shouldn't judge someone for wanting to meet in a public place.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I don't think I've ever, like, gone on a first date with someone and been like, can we, like, meet somewhere in public? And have them be like, but to be fair, I don't want to generalize with women, but I feel like women are less likely to freak out about being asked to meet in public.
Absolutely, because they're like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. People are insane.
I've had dates where like it's been like, oh, like we hit it off so well that like, yeah, we'll go back and hang out at each other's apartment. Like nothing weird happens, but it's like, you know,
but
it's
for
really
the first
all about
time meeting.
Yeah, you gotta meet in public, bro.
Yeah.
Be safe out there, guys. If you are using dating apps out there, please be safe.
Please.
I think Tinder now has an option where, you know, if you're about to go out on a date, that you can like send out like your location to like friends or something in your contacts and be like, okay, I'm going to be here at this, or you could just do it in general. But also, I think there's now a filter on Tinder for messaging where if you send something that it could be considered offensive or creepy, they'll send you a prompt that says, are you sure you want to send this?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that doesn't stop people. But,
and even when you send in like your phone number or like any personal information, they're like, are you sure you're comfortable sending this?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Bad with animals, like kicking a dog for no reason whatsoever. Some psychopathic shit right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you hurt an animal in any way, shape, or form, you are psychotic. Yeah. And you deserve to be thrown in traffic.
Or being rude with staff. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just basic etiquette.
Yeah. That's just being a normal fucking person.
Someone who uses the word ick. Yeah, I saw a lot of people say, like, "Will you stop using this word, please? It just sounds super childish," was the argument I was seeing. Like, what happened to just saying, yeah, I just don't like that about somebody?
It's really just personal preference, or like a deal breaker is basically what ick is.
Yeah.
It's just a shorter way to say it. I don't really mind it, to be honest.
I don't really care at all.
I don't think I have any opinion on it.
I've very rarely used that phrase, but there have been some times where I've been watching a movie and, like, let's say it's a creepy dude or something, and I'm just like, oh, that kind of gives me the ick. But I rarely use it to begin with anyway.
No, I get that.
Someone who constantly yawns and or complains of how tired they are throughout the day. I picked this one for you. Actually, to be quite honest, you've never really complained about how
I'm
tired
just
you are
asleep.
ever.
I'm literally just, you
Dude,
just don't hear from me.
You're the only person I know that sleeps until like noon, and I am envious of that.
Yeah, because I don't go to bed until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm laying in bed and I'm like, all right, I should go to sleep. And then I try, and then my mind just starts racing, and then I'm tossing and turning, and I just get back on my phone, and I'm like, all right, I'll just play a game. And then I look at the time, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I should probably go to bed.
I thought you were gonna say that, you know, that you usually stay up until like 2 or 3 a.m. But instead of like going all the way to 4, once you go to 4, once you pull an all-nighter or something like that, and you can hear the birds chirping, you've been up too late. You've been
absolutely.
up too long.
Oh, absolutely.
Too long.
And the thing is, I can't just like keep on going for the rest of my day, because if I don't sleep, I feel like genuinely sick. Like my stomach starts being fucked up. Like I get dizzy. Like my head hurts. Like it's just not.
You have to get that 8.
I just need some kind of sleep. Like I can't stay up.
When's the last time you've been up until like 3, 4 a.m. and then you're like, well, shit, I got to be up at 9, and woken up and not had to take a nap?
I want to say probably a couple months ago, because I know sometimes I have to help my family with like appointments and shit, so I'll have to like be up in the morning and like take someone somewhere. But I know also I've like when I was working and I used to have to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes my dumb ass would not go to bed until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I'd have to wake up at 5:30 and be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill myself or a customer today. Like, cool.
Baby talk. I was having sex with a really hot guy, and he asked me if I wanted his fingy, and I wanted to stop and never have sex again. Couldn't even cope with one word of it. But I suppose most people wouldn't give me a hard time for that.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, it depends on the situation, because I use baby talk
I can't
as like
think of
a
any
meme. No, but I use it
During
as a
sex?
meme. No, I'm saying it depends on the situation. Like if you're in like a serious like y'all are doing the do, don't say fingy. Don't say that. Don't say I'm hungry or anything like that. That's fucked. That's fucked
I'm
up,
hungry
dude.
for this kitty. Want my fingy
Like,
in...
Oof.
even like I was when I worked at my last job, I was talking to my coworker, and like it was we were like just starting to get like closer, you know? So I was like memeing around and shit with her, and I was just like, I'm hungry, and she literally looked at me and she was like, why did you say that? I was like, bro, I was kidding.
Oh, God. It's like, but also, no, you're not, because it's just like...
Like, I'm serious, but like, I don't.
Yeah, like, it's a meme.
It's a meme. I'm doing it ironically, guys. Please.
Jesus Christ. Y'all never don't use baby talk during sex unless you're like
God,
into like that. You gotta ask. You gotta
unless you're into like that daddy little girl or like dom daddy little girl play, which is
or diaper stuff.
Listen, to each their own, bro. That's a whole other thing to unpack. Consent and legality is all that matters.
Yeah. You know what I'm really into? The silent treatment. Just tie me to a chair and walk out of the room. Don't say a damn thing. Just leave me there. Really gets my rocks off.
Just not having to deal with another human. Oh, that gets me going.
Oh, it's so hot. having a cat and act like it's your child.
Oh,
Don't get me wrong.
Shut the fuck up.
I fudging love animals, but god damn it, Darlene, your cat didn't come out of your vajayjay, so stop acting like it.
I'll have you know,
I birthed my cat.
I held this bitch. She's over there. I held this bitch in my fucking womb for 9 months, and then she popped out. That is my baby. I have raised her. Sorry you don't love anything but yourself.
Ooh, I love it. Keep going.
Ugh. I'm a cat lady through and through.
Yes, you are. Hold up your paw. Paws to the sky.
Paws up, little monsters.
This is very niche, but one time my college roommate had friends visiting her dorm. One of her male friends took his shirt off, and he has a belly button ring, and I internally cringed. I don't have a logical reason, obviously. I've seen attractive men with eyebrow rings, nose rings, lip rings, even nipple piercings, but a belly ring, I cannot. I don't think I've ever seen a dude with his belly button pierced.
I have, but they're usually gay.
Dude,
maybe he wasn't your demographic.
Maybe. Dude, this guy that I know, you know how I told that story, the last Spicy Reddit story about how I was over at a friend's house and we found a placenta in the back of the freezer from a previous owner, and we called the roommate. The roommate, he recently got his very first piercing. Take a wild guess what he got pierced.
His tongue?
Nope. I'll give you one more guess.
Is it obvious?
No.
His penis.
Yes. He got a fucking Prince Albert. He got a goddamn Prince Albert for his first piercing.
Yo, he really said, I'm going to full send into the world of piercings.
I wish I was there to see it happen. Because, like, you think, like, listen, I'm very secure with my sexuality and who I am as a man.
You said, I just need to see how the fuck.
I just need, I wanted to see how, number one, how he took that pain. And number two, I just wanted to see someone get one done. Because I'm just like, that is a very complex piercing. I don't care about that. I want to see it in person. Like, I want to be in the room.
You should go to a piercing shop and be like, listen, can you call me the next time someone comes in and asks for a Prince Albert? And I will come right in.
Yeah. Quick question. Why is it called a Prince Albert?
I don't know anything about Sir Prince Albert.
But I bet Google does.
Princeton Albert. I do not know.
The name Prince Albert for this piercing comes from the belief that Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, had this penile piercing. There is, however, no confirmatory evidence for the same.
Just started a rumor and ran with it.
Yeah. So most people report that Prince Albert piercing is not as painful as nipple piercing and lasts only a few seconds.
Ooh. Yeah, I've heard nipple piercings hurt really bad. Which, yeah, that shit's a fucking tender ass fucking.
But anyway, that's fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Last one, y'all. If he doesn't eat vegetables.
Yeah, that man is probably...
Like any vegetable? Like...
Yeah, I imagine if he doesn't eat vegetables at all.
It's mostly just fast food and...
Yeah.
Shit. Or just meat.
That man's health is probably in peril.
It'll catch up to him when he's in his, like, 40s.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe even earlier.
Possibly, you know? I mean...
A lot of younger people are getting sick now.
Yeah. It's probably because they don't eat vegetables.
Yeah.
Or fruit.
Fucked up.
You know.
But it's also, what else is safe in this fucking country? Everything wants to fucking kill us.
Putting preservatives and additives and
everything is genetically modified. Everything is artificial. Nothing is real in this world.
They're putting gay chemicals in our fruit.
They're putting the frogs in our food.
God!
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? You get your goddamn...
Well, guys?
Did you agree with any of these? Let us know in the comments. And If you do, well, then you're probably with the majority. And if you are part of the minority, well, I
You're wrong.
don't care either way. Everyone's entitled to their own stupid opinion. Anyway,
Go off.
guys. Yeah, guys. Let us know if you want more Icks, and we'll probably come back with some more because I got a whole damn list of them. So let me know if you want some more. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friends. Let them know that the Daydream Arcade exists, baby.
Bye.